Welcome back to another Plasticon review. Today we're going to cover Generation 2 Legacy Optimus Prime laser rod with upgrades. Here is Laser Prime with his upgrade set next to the standard style, and I put a little Volt here in frame so that way you guys can see those together. This works very well. This whole ensemble just works. Got flames everywhere. This is very hot rodish. Very laser rod. Love every bit of it. So let's get him up out of the way. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is not the trucks. We're going to take a look at the trailers first, because the trailers is where a lot of the upgrades are for this. So take these off real quick, and if you did notice one thing I do want to point out before I do that, the space between the cab here is pretty nice because it actually has an extender here in the middle. It allows it to roll pretty good. It's very nice compared to the standard spacing, which is pretty close. Now, this does allow turning, but not quite enough. This one here will allow you to literally turn completely all the way if the missile doesn't plug in the way. But yeah, I see the point. The point is, these guys do have a lot of differences, but I will show you everything that I got going on with this. So let's get the standard one up out of the way for now, and get the upgraded Prime cab out of the way so we can take a closer look at the trailer. If you notice, the trailer's got a lot going on here now. It has a large array of missiles. It does happen to have these missiles here too, and these do kind of pop off. By the way, just a heads up, these bits are all from Larkin's Lair. He does 3D printing upgrades, and that's exactly where these bits come from. The sticker sheet is Repro Labels, also known as Toy Hacks. They did an amazing job, and that looks so cool on the side. It really invokes Optimus Prime. And this actually has different artwork on the other side, which is cool. I appreciate the fact that they had two different kinds of artwork. It would have been kind of cool if they had two of the same artwork, so you can kind of change it out if you wanted to, or just have like the same artwork on both sides. But I do like the fact that it is different on both sides. It does happen to have a little extender here, so that way you can actually make the trailer stick out further, which just clips over the original post. So there's no modification here at all. It just snaps right on over it. Just a 5mm port, just like the rest of the kit is. Now, one thing I did go back and I watched Larkin's actual thing dealing with this upgrade kit. These upgrade kits, when you get them, sometimes you have to do a little bit of sanding just to kind of get things to kind of fit correctly. I would not force the pieces, that's what he said, just be gentle with them and they will all kind of snap right into place pretty much perfectly. Another thing I wanted to show is I actually put the upgrade kit Legos on the top. I wanted to say Legos. Labels, they're up on the top, which kind of makes it all nice and shiny. And it's got the same thing going on here on the back, which is pretty cool. I opt out for the stickers here underneath, because I know there's some stickers that go under there, but it's all covered with the disc launcher. Oh, speaking of launchers, this thing actually has a little rocket launcher here, which can come off. It is it's just slotted together. Now you can glue these. I haven't glued mine yet, but they are just little 5mm ports. But this actually just kind of sits in the top here, so that way it actually gives you a place to put the little rocket launcher. Now this is, like I said, all this stuff's kind of optional, however you want to do this. These supposed to be flick fire, so you can flick fire like that. That's usually what I do, is I just flick fire. It does look like there's a way for you to actually push them in on the inside of this. I actually haven't tried doing that yet. I don't want to break it, but let's see. Nope, I guess it does push it in all the way. So, yeah, it works just as well. It does fire. Let's try that again. There you go. Flick fire. Gotta love it. Hey, I ain't gonna hate on it. It's flick firing. It's cool. Now, since I've got all the missiles over there, I'll show you another little gimmick this thing does. This actually has a disc launcher, and that is exactly what this whole thing here is on top. It's got a lot of detail, and it actually has the discs, and the discs all have the G2 emblem on them. This is absolutely amazing. I love this. Now, you don't twist this like you would on the original toy. This, you can kind of lift up on it a little bit. That's usually what I do to kind of get it up over the hump here on the back, because you have to kind of do that to kind of turn it. But, you know, you don't necessarily have to do it that way. You can just have it face this direction. And there is a little lever right here on the side. And as you just take the lever and push it forward, it will launch a disc out. And I'll try it again. Let's try to get a little bit more oomph that time. It's all flick fire, which is cool, because you don't have to worry about springs. And it's about as gimmicky as it's supposed to get. And they do tend to feed all the way through. I'm able to get them all come out. But I think some of the problem is I'm pushing on it and it's firing and hitting this part here. It'll work much better when you actually have it in base mode. So, I mean, if I probably just take this thing off. Let's try doing it this way. And everything is keyed, so it goes in just like so. And then you just... That was just me pushing it like that. I didn't even like give it any oomph. So let's try it again. Yeah, see, they fire pretty good. They're not terrible. That actually got some distance. But that's exactly what this does. That's what this little bit is too. And it also has the little missile launchers here, which these don't actually launch, they just kind of peg in. This part here just kind of slides in. So, I mean, you can do this and then just throw it or whatever, however you want to do it. There's no way to do an actual bladder launcher with 3D printing that I know of yet, but it'd be kind of cool if they could do that. But, you know, I love the fact that these are even included with this whole set. Now, to let you know, I did put the extra gun, the original gun that's supposed to be here, I put it here on the back, because it kind of just fills in that back part, gives you a bit of an access tank, you know, thing, so that way it looks like it's just part of the actual trailer. It doesn't look out of place or anything, so whenever you do have this part sitting on top, all set up like this, it doesn't look weird. It actually looks like it's meant to be designed this way. I absolutely love this upgrade kit. This upgrade kit's done a lot. By the way, just a look at all the upgrade stickers there on the back too. And this is Convoy right there, if you can't really read it very well, on the license plate. It's pretty neat. I do like it because of that. But let's take all this here off. And Larkin did mention whenever you do get these kits, these are all in pieces, so there's some parts of sprues and stuff you have to kind of cut and attach things. So, I mean, if you're not into the kit building side, I can understand why you would not want this kit. But to be honest, it's not that difficult. He said you can use just standard super glue to hold some of this stuff together. You wouldn't have a problem with it. I actually haven't super glued this piece in yet, but that kind of shows you this is exactly what it is. It's just a little rack that kind of just sits down in here, and it'll hold all the missiles, and then you just push on them and fire them off. This right here actually has a couple little tabs that are here that line up with this part. And what I would do is after I'd tab it together, I personally would put just a dab of glue right here on each side to hold it together. That's what I would do if I were you. I mean, it's not these aren't a bad print. They're really nice, and they have some charm about them, and it really does add more to your laser prime. If you guys have not seen this set, I really highly suggest getting it. I'm trying to pick up all these pieces. We're going to take this and turn this into its base mode. You just pull these off, just like I normally would. I'll disconnect this part here too. And the cool thing is you just leave this here attached. I just rotate this down. That's what I do with it. And then lift it all up, like so. And if you notice that you have upgrade stickers here on the bottom of this as well. And this will fold all the way out. And then this other side here will flip down and fold out. Now if you notice, I got another additional piece in here, and that is this twin blaster cannon. I go ahead and transform this part here. Push this down. Alright, I spun this piece here around, which just literally just spins around like it normally would for your little armature, right? Well, we're not going to use it for an armature, we're using it for a little rocket launcher. So what I normally do is I'll take the armature and kind of make it look more like a standard rocket launcher part. And straighten this piece here out. And then I'll take this cannon here, and we'll take one of these, because these will be implemented here in a second. And you just take this little part here, and I plug it right into the missile, or right into the trailer hitch like that. And then there you go, you actually have a rocket. This is a spare one, so you can just kind of set it to the side if you need to, which the original actually just had them laying down on the inside. That's usually what I do. And then as for these parts, these actually plug onto the little hole here in the back. Just like so. Kind of hard to do. And so one of these fits one better than the other, I know that. There we go. And then this will plug in right like, just like so. Because it's got the little 5mm ports. And then you'll do the same with this other one. And fit that on there just like that. And there you go. There's base mode. It's kind of nice. It's a really, really good extension to what we standardly already had. If you guys notice the ripper labels here on the front. I'll spin this around. As you guys can see, I've actually put the computer console stickers from the ripper labels here on the back as well. It's very neat. I do like it. And this right here, this little gun, this can actually kind of put anywhere you really want it. It does fit on that part there if you want, or if you want to, you can do the whole standardized style where this actually sits on top versus this one. Just like that, like the original toy had. So, I mean, if you really didn't want to use this gun here at all, I mean, you can just kind of peg it in anywhere, really. Just to kind of get it up out of the way if you wanted. That's just usually what I do with this. But, flip this to the back, and I'm going to show you Prime himself. taking a look at Laser Prime himself, he's got a lot of awesome decals. These Toy Hacks decals do a lot for this thing. It actually adds a nice chrome to the front. It adds a nice little sticker there on the front of it as well for the license plate. And not to mention a little bit of detail here on the hood and even the windows. Also has that nice Optimus Prime right there on the side, because you know the original toy had it, so this one here does too. There are optional stickers in the sticker sheet, but this is what I decided to put on here. Now, I also decided to put some taillights on, which are nice, because you know he needs taillights. You can't not have his taillights, so he's got those as well. But that's about the only huge difference decal-wise. Now, if you look at the original has these holes here, and it's kind of a flat fender. Nothing really great going on here. It's just kind of, it's not, that's a bad toy. It's amazing, but it doesn't have the flared out portions. Well, this one, it does now. If you look at those flared rims, or wheel rims, just adds a lot to it, just having these plugged in. Now these actually come with the Larkin's upgrade kit as well. And one other thing, just to note, it does happen to have decals for the diamond plating for the steps, which is kind of cool. But really that's all the huge difference is. Now these on mine were a little loose, and whenever I put them on, I actually used a little thing called clear nail polish, and I just put it on the tip of the peg and pushed it in, and it holds it on there very securely. Clear nail polish is one of those things I use for lots of fixes and adaptations. The reason I do not use super glue is because if you do, you won't ever get those off. You'll probably end up breaking the toy trying to take them off. And if anybody ever wanted to push this back to a stock piece, they could not do that because those would actually be glued in. Now, when it comes to the design of everything being built the way it is, I mean, these are pretty flexible little pieces here, so you don't really have to worry so much about them breaking. And that's one thing I do have to admit. Larkin did an amazing job with 3D prints on these, and it works well. But that's pretty much it for the truck modes. If you notice, it does really kind of bring out the colors, especially the windows. I just love the fact that you don't see through here, because I mean, it's okay to see inside, but honestly, I am really kind of one of those people now that I'm to a point that since we don't put little Diaclone figures in these things, there's really no reason to even have transparent windows on a Transformer at this day and age. They should just make them all opaque, paint them, and be done with it. It would just work better. But that's kind of my own little, I don't know, opinion. But let's go ahead and transform him real quick. And let's try to do this again and not end up popping a bunch of pieces off like I've done before in the past. Push these little fuel tanks in. Flip these out. There's a lot of you guys out there has probably already seen my other review of this guy. And flip these out just like so. Take this piece here down, because, you know, gotta have Gur truck going on here. Gotta have the Gur truck. I mean, it is kind of funny. Okay, and let's split these and move them out of the way. And then we'll flip this portion here up and out of the way as well. And then we'll take this whole thing here and rock it backward a little bit. I tend to move these out of the way so that way everything doesn't just bump up against each other. And as for this, I'll move this whole portion here down, and it'll kind of soft click. Same with this piece here. It sometimes soft clicks, sometimes it tries to pop out. There we go. Hey, I did it and it didn't do it that time. Alright, before I move these in, grab these arm pieces here, and I just kind of wiggle them out and push them in. Rotate the arms. And then I'll do the same over here, because this kind of gets rid of this panel here, so that way you can actually transform just fine. And so here it does. Then I'll push these portions here in, just like so. And then clip that in, twist the waist. Now reach in here, grab the head portion, push it down, orient the shoulder bits. After I push these in and just clip in. There you go. And then push this down, just like that. And then put our little panel back out here on the back. And then collapse this against the gap. Put these down, fold the hand out. Put this hand down. Fold the hand out. For some reason I got slippery hands today. I don't know what's all about that. It's been very humid here, so push that all closed. There we go. And separate legs. And push this down now, it clicks. And there you go. We got Prime in his robot mode now. If you notice, he does have different kneecaps. Larkin's actually got two different styles of kneecaps for this guy. I happen to have these, have the little red pieces that you push in. These look fantastic on him. It really kind of adds a little more to the robot mode. As for the decals, added some decals here onto his hips, which looks really good. Same thing here for his arms, and not to mention that whole chest piece. This whole chest piece is literally just like the toy. I wanted it to look more like the original toy where it said Optimus Prime on his chest. And he does have a sticker sheet that will work with all this right here to kind of add color, but I decided to opt out on that because there's a lot of detail you have to kind of push those stickers into. I really didn't feel like messing with that. But it does happen to have the G2 emblems right there on his shoulders. He looks fantastic like this. I am really a big fan of this. And the fact that there's another little thing that upgrades on this as well, and that happens to be the sword. The sword itself has got a nice little silver sticker here. Kind of a, not silver, but kind of a very shiny sticker, as you guys can see. Adds a little bit of detail here for the hilt. Nothing here because this is all hollow, but it also adds that detail there as well. And it does look really good in his hand. I think this really adds more to Prime, and it really just makes him look more the part. I'm a really big fan of this upgrade kit. This upgrade kit also allows you to take the cannon. The cannon has two posts here, and one of the posts actually goes right in his hand just like so, and then there you go. Now you got more of a toy accurate modern laser Prime, which looks fantastic. I love how he looks. Next to the original, like I said, this looks great as a standard release. I personally love the upgrade kit. The upgrade kit really did add a lot to this toy and really kind of drags more of the, I don't know, the authenticity behind what laser prime really is. Now there are, if you do buy the upgrade kit for the sticker sheets, the sticker sheet does have a lot of different options. It's got different colored windows, it's got different windows here where you can actually have the matrix sticker versus this. It has one where it's just plain, where it doesn't even say Optimus Prime, it just literally is the same design, just doesn't say Optimus Prime. It's got all different kinds of stickers that you can add to the sides and such that are different, which makes it cool, but it also allows you to personalize your laser prime to make it fit more the genre that you had. If you're one of those ones that had the original with a gray trailer, this can actually invoke that. If you had the reissue that was in the early 2000s, it can also invoke that. Or it can even look like, you know, more or less a more modern take on him where he has more detail if you want to do that. These options are amazing for this set. I personally love this mold. I think this mold's amazing. This is probably going to be a mold that's going to stick around, I would say, as long as the original one did. And I kind of hope so, because the original mold throughout the years, from what I hear, hasn't been the greatest. I believe the last punch was the, I want to say it was Year of the Goat. You guys out there probably will correct me. But the last laser prime we got literally was partial transparent plastic, which I know a lot of people out there are not into the transparent plastic because they're afraid it's going to snap or break, especially with like this one here having the this axe thing here having a metal pin driven through here. I personally think they shouldn't have used a metal pin. I think they should have just let this be a friction piece that can actually plug in and come off, because when it comes to transparent plastic, this stuff over time tends to degrade. I personally love the fact that this kit even exists, and it's nice to actually see a 3D print that works very well. I have researched 3D printing quite a bit. A lot of people's asked me if I planned on doing it myself. No, I don't. I don't have the room for it. I also don't have the skill set for it. It requires a lot of mathematics, something that I'm not good at. If you guys have seen me make decal sheets and stickers and stuff in the past, I have had to do that the old school way. I look on the toy and cut out a piece of paper and lay it on there and see if it's going to fit correctly, and then I'll transfer that over to my computer, do what I'm going to do on it, and then print it off that way. That's how I normally do my sticker sheets. But the fact that Toy Hacksta has done such a fantastic job with allowing us to have a upgrade kit for this, and then Larkin's Lair to actually add a whole other level by giving us all these awesome guns that the toy, more than likely most people out there say, well, it should have came with that. I get that, I understand that, but in the price point in the day and age we live in now, let's be happy that these even exist, because this stuff might not here in the future. But anyway, this has been Plasticon. This has been yet another awesome Transformers review over this whole like awesome, like, come on, this thing's got firing missiles and firing discs. If this doesn't like invoke G2, I don't know what does. Anyway, this is me signing off. Peace out, y'all. I'll see you around. That's it for now. Bye.